This podcast is sponsored by nobody. Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now today I will be welcoming back Rebecca Forstadt Olkowski. Rebecca, of course, is a voiceover artist of anime. And I'm going to have her back on. We are going to nerd out on the entertainment of our youth today. I am just loving these conversations. They're so fun and they're so interesting. And we're maybe going to comment a little on the 40th anniversary of Mugsy's Girls, the cult classic she was in, the naughty cult classic she was in back in 1984. And it's going to be another great conversation today. Rebecca is so awesome. We follow each other on social media. We support each other's stuff. She is just a great, great person, and I'm so looking forward to talking to her again today. And today is the first podcast of 2024. Let's see where the new year takes us. It's going to be an interesting year, and I can't wait. Oh, you're going to love the guests that I have coming up. I got some real toe curlers coming up in the next week or so. Yeah, next 2 weeks actually. It's going to be fantastic. You know, I am so blessed, beyond blessed, grateful for the guests I get. You're going to enjoy it, I promise. So yeah, here is my new interview with Rebecca Forstadt Olkowski. So how was your Christmas?
It was nice. It was really great. I spent time with my family and my son and daughter. My son lives in Tehachapi, so we went wine tasting out there. They actually have wineries out there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
How about you?
It was low-key. You know, I turned 40 last year, so the older I get, the more ordinary Christmas becomes because I don't have any kids.
Oh, well, I turned way older than that, like in December, so.
Yes, happy birthday, happy birthday.
Thank you.
My mom's hitting her milestone next month, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of alarming. It comes up really fast.
It does. It sneaks up on you.
Uh-huh.
So thanks for being my first guest of 2024. You're also the first returning guest to be my first guest of the new year. I never had that happen before.
Wow, I'm honored.
Yes, there's a first time for everything.
Yeah.
So, going back in time, do you remember the first movie that impacted you as a child?
The first movie that impacted me, I think it was when I was about 5 years old. There was this giant locust movie, and it scared the heck out of me. I don't even know what the name of it was. It was scary.
Do you remember who was in it?
Nope, just a bunch of really scary locusts.
Wow.
It was like a sci-fi thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, like, maybe To Kill a Mockingbird?
To Kill a Mockingbird, yeah. I love that movie. I love the play. It's been banned in some circles now, which is sad.
I know, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's only temporary, though, I feel. Yeah, I mean, Back to the Future was the first movie that really impacted me emotionally as a kid because, like so many people who love the movie, I have that fantasy of going back in time and seeing my parents in high school. I used to look at their yearbooks when I was a kid and stuff, and it's a movie that I can really relate to, and it's got everything in it. You know, it's got comedy, action, sci-fi, romance, music, everything.
Wow. Yeah, it is. It's a fun movie.
It is. I like the sequels. I kind of wish they had never been made, but I still like them.
Yeah, sequels are usually never as good as the original.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Sometimes they are.
Occasionally, there's some gems out there. Godfather 2, A Shot in the Dark, which was a sequel to the Pink Panther, and some of the sequels after that are pretty good.
I love that. I love Pink Panther.
Oh, yes. Blake Edwards' daughter Jennifer has been on the podcast twice, and I adore her. And she's always like just feeding off my energy because she knows I'm such a fan of her dad's work.
That's cool. I worked on SOB that she was on. I was actually, at the time, I was doing wardrobe, and I did wardrobe on that film. I was one of the wardrobe assistants, so I was helping her with her clothes. So I did get to know, well, just barely got to know her, but, like, you know, she was there.
Yeah, I remember we talked a little bit about that last time. That's so cool that you got to be on a Blake Edwards film.
Oh, that was an amazing film because there was like every movie star you could imagine on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. I got to carry Julie Andrews' coat.
Yeah.
That was like, I was like the on-set dresser, one of the assistant dressers. So my name isn't in the credits, but I was there.
Yeah, that's the only movie where you could see Julie Andrews' boobs.
Right. Yeah. You know, it was funny because they didn't have me come in that day because they had a really closed set, but I missed that part.
Yeah.
But I was there for the rest of it.
But it's on film forever.
Yeah, and I just loved working with Blake, and I fell in love with Robert Preston.
Oh, yeah.
He was just like the nicest guy that you could ever imagine. I just thought he was a doll.
Oh, yeah, Catherine Mary Stewart told me, she only got to meet him one day on the set of The Last Starfighter, and when she did meet him, he took her by the hand and kissed it, and she was just taken by what a debonair icon he was.
Oh, he was so charming. It just, just a really wonderful guy. I just adored him.
Yeah, my birthday's 2 days before his. My birthday's June 6th. He was June 8th.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You really have all the trivia down. That's great.
Yep, I've always been this way. I'm the master of minutia.
Yeah.
What genre did you gravitate toward the most?
The genre? You mean when I was a kid or now?
Yeah, when you were a kid, like what genre did you like the most?
Well, as a kid, I think I just liked stuff that was fun, like the Muppets or something. Although that was actually, I was older by the time they had the Muppets, but, just fun stuff. I liked Wizard of Oz and, Peter Pan.
Oh, yeah, you got to
stuff
see
like that.
Yeah, you got to see the Wizard of Oz. It was like on Easter or Thanksgiving every year on CBS or something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mhm. Yeah, and then now what I gravitate towards are English movies and TV shows. I don't know why. I just think the acting and the stories are so amazingly good. They just sort of beat out anything that's American to me.
Interesting, yeah. I was a comedy and horror kid. As far as comedy goes, I loved all the Saturday Night Live and SCTV guys in comedy movies: Chevy Chase, Dan Aykroyd, John Candy, Bill Murray, Steve Martin. I loved all the ones that your generation grew up on, like Martin and Lewis and Laurel and Hardy and the Marx Brothers and Crosby and Hope.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they were great.
I thought they were fantastic, yeah. And of course I was a Benny Hill guy and Charlie Chaplin and stuff.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, those guys, they're still really funny. Even like I Love Lucy too. You could watch that show like all the time and you never get tired of it.
That the generations of people she influenced with that show. It's astounding.
Yeah, and The Honeymooners, too. I love that. With Jackie Gleason.
Did you ever see the lost episodes of The Honeymooners?
I don't think so. I'm not sure. I'll have to look for those. I bet they're fun.
Yeah, in the mid-'80s, Showtime was running them, and a lot of archivists were disappointed because they were a lot darker and a lot less like, the ones that aired, pretty much.
Probably why they got lost.
Yeah. Yeah, they were completely different. Completely different.
Yeah. And then I liked watching things like Lost in
Oh
Space.
yeah.
That was funny. That was really good. Trying to think of what else I watched. A lot of times I'll like watch something and completely forget what the whole story's about, about 10 minutes later. So,
Oh yeah.
and I've always been like that. It's not just Alzheimer's coming, it's not dementia sinking in. It was like that all the time.
Did you grow up on the Universal monster movies?
No, I don't think so. I was a girl, so I like more girly stuff.
Oh, I knew girls who watched those back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I did. Well, I like the Addams Family a lot.
Hmm.
I love that. I thought that was a brilliant show.
Oh yeah, my dad. Okay, my dad was born in '57, and so we would watch shows that he grew up on as a kid.
Mhm.
We'd watch on during the day. We'd see Leave It to Beaver, The Addams Family, and the Munsters, and then at nighttime on Nick at Night, we'd see The Monkees, Lancelot Link, Secret Chimp, The Many Lives of Dobie Gillis, The Donna Reed Show, The Patty Duke Show, Car 54, Where Are You, and others I'm blanking on. Oh, Green Acres was another.
Oh, I watched all of those. I loved all of those. They were great. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's funny when you say the monkeys because I was like a complete monkey fanatic. I was in junior high school, I think, when they first came out, and I was a member of the fan club and everything.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't live without watching the monkeys every week, and my brother would usually make fun of me and try to get in front of the TV, and so I couldn't see anything. And it's funny.
But yeah, and I had a crush on Davey. He was like one of my earliest crushes.
Yeah, I was a Mickey fan. I don't know why. I liked him because he was funny.
Oh God, he was great, and he's the last one left.
Yeah.
I got to interview his sister, and she was singing with them on their last tour, and I got to talk to her in the hotel room on their very last night of performing on the tour.
Wow, that's exciting. I got to work with them. I was helping out one of the writers of the Monkees, David Evans, and I was working on his website actually. Like I do all these other side jobs all the time because being an actor is not like the most predictable type of profession to be in. So
Right.
you always have to do something else.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
actually had a great job when I was working wardrobe. I was like in the union and everything, but I had studied acting before that and all through high school and college and everything, and I wanted to be an actor, and it was really crazy, so I quit. And but I was working on shows like Hill Street Blues and The White Shadow and
Yep.
all kinds of stuff for a while.
Yep. And then also too, like during the day on before Night was Nick at Night, it was Nickelodeon. I'd watch Dennis the Menace.
Mhm.
Strangely enough, it was on in the morning and not during the Nick at Night hour. But I guess that was just for the kids. I guess.
Yeah, I watched those because my kids watched them. Because like I think I'm older than your parents, so like yeah, I used to they used to be on all the time, Nickelodeon shows.
Yeah, my mom was born in '54. My dad was born in '57. So right there, in the middle of the baby boomers.
Yeah, mine was 53.
How about Western shows?
Oh yeah, we used to watch. Well, I loved Bonanza
Yep.
a lot, and trying to think. There were a bunch of other ones. Maverick.
Yeah.
I liked the Mavericks with what's his name?
James Gardner.
Yeah, he was my favorite.
Oh yeah.
And trying to think. Yeah, I mean there were a lot of Western shows when I was growing up. That was a big deal. Cowboys and stuff like that.
My dad,
The
and I,
Rifleman.
my dad and I would watch Maverick and the Rockford Files because he loved Gardner, and
Yeah.
we'd watch Bonanza. He called me his little Hoss Cartwright because I was fat. The Big
Yeah,
Valley.
one of the people that I started working with when I first started doing anime stuff,
Uh-huh.
he used to write a lot of. He wrote several of the Bonanza episodes.
Really?
So yeah, Bob Barron. He used to direct a lot of our anime and stuff.
Wow, so he went from westerns to anime. That's interesting.
I know. Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
I guess you gotta go where the money goes sometimes.
Yep.
Did you watch The Big Valley?
A little bit. I don't know that was like. I mean, it was good. I just don't remember watching it a whole lot.
Yeah.
But I remember Green Acres. I loved, Petticoat Junction.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. About 15 or 20 years ago, when the Western Channel was launched, I found Western shows I didn't even know existed, like The Rebel with Nick Adams, or Bronco, or The Tales of Wells Fargo, and even The Virginian I didn't know. And the funny thing is, I got to interview James Drury 2 weeks before he passed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, by that point, he was completely over it. I think he knew he was going to be dying. I think he knew that was going to be his last interview.
Oh, wow. You catch a lot of cool people.
I've had these amazing Zelig-like moments. It's just been so profound in my life, Rebecca, I tell you.
Yeah, I guess, when you're out there, they start coming to you, I would imagine.
They do. They come and they come. How about crime shows?
Yeah, let's see. What was it? I'm trying to think of the names of them. Give me a few.
The Untouchables.
Yeah, I remember watching that a couple of times. What's the one with the two cops? Like Fred Gwynn and...
Car 54, Where Are You?
Yeah.
That's
like that
comedy.
one. That was good. Yeah. Rod Serling.
The Twilight Zone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
I definitely watched The Twilight Zone.
Oh, do you have any favorites?
I wouldn't be able to remember what they were. I just remember I watched it.
Well, my favorite's the Talking Tina doll, the evil doll.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure if I remember that one.
Yeah, Telly Savalas. He's kind of a jerk dad who gives his kid this doll that becomes evil and wants to kill him. And there's one where Bill Mummy from Lost in Space he's this kid with powers, and he does all these bad things, and all the adults have to approve of it, otherwise something bad happens to them. Like he turns his dad into a Jack-in-the-Box or something.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah.
I do remember that one. I liked Billy Mummy. He was cool.
Yeah. Alfred Hitchcock Presents.
Yeah, definitely. He was great.
Yeah, that's how I found out about Hitchcock.
I got to meet a couple of the guys from My Three Sons. I remember that because
Stanley.
Stanley and Barry. It was Stanley mostly because my boyfriend had worked on a Cinerama show that he did. They did. It was like the last thing that they did. It was a little kind of short travel log of Los Angeles, and Stanley was on it. And so one time we went to Genghis Cohen, and we met him there, and his brother Barry was playing in a band. They were entertaining there. And that was cool. And then I also hooked up with him when they were doing a presentation of how the West was won at the Cinerama Dome.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that was kind of cool.
I got Stanley. I got Stanley coming on next Tuesday.
Oh, cool! I don't know if he would know my boyfriend more than me. I mean, I'm sure he wouldn't know my name, but he would definitely know my boyfriend, Doug Knapp. So.
Ooh, I like that name. That's a real.
He's no longer with us anymore.
I like that name though. That's a man's name.
Oh. Yeah, he was the camera operator on Star Trek Voyager and Enterprise and a bunch of other things.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I met Stanley this past summer at a Comic-Con in the Bay Area, and he's just such a nice guy. Yeah, I'm so glad I'm going to talk to him next week. And I'll definitely talk about how the West was won because it's such a legendary Western.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he's really sweet. Him and his wife were really nice.
Let's see, do you remember Rod Serling's other show, Night Gallery?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of if I remember. I'm sure I must have watched it. I just remember the Twilight Zone though mostly.
The Outer Limits?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they revived they revived all those shows, but like I remember The Outer Limits was revived on Showtime in the 90s, and I didn't think it was that good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't. I wasn't so much into sci-fi and all that, really, because it was just. But I mean, every once in a while, we'd see something like that.
Do you remember your first drive-in experience?
Yeah, I think it was either To Kill a Mockingbird or Play Misty for Me. I remember that. I just remember watching both of those movies at a drive-in.
Let's see.
With my parents. And we used to have this old Woody Pontiac, it was like a bright orange Pontiac station wagon. So, all the kids would be in the back, and it was always kind of fun. I was just talking about drive-ins with my girlfriends who were all around the same age, and like one of my friends said she used to go every Friday night with her mom because she had a single mom, and that was what they did with all the kids.
Oh yeah, my parents started taking me to the drive-in when I was 2. The first movie they took me to was a double bill of Weird Science and Rambo 2. It was 1985. And
wow.
When I was,
you still at drive-ins then?
Oh yeah, they lasted up until I was 17, and then our drive-in closed, and I was so sad about that. I loved it.
Yeah, most of them turned into swap meets.
I don't know what this one turned into. It's just dead space, maybe. But, yeah, I remember when I was 3.5, they stopped taking me to drive-ins for 3 years because it would get to a point where I would either fall asleep in the back seat or I would just get out of the car and start knocking on windshields. Yeah, I was a curious kid, I'll tell you.
Oh, you'd be knocking on other people's windshields?
Yeah, I guess. I don't remember it. I don't have no memory of it, but I don't doubt that I did it. Yeah.
Yeah, now you can't even let your kid out of the car. I mean,
Well, my brother, who's 9 years older than me, his drive-in experience was way different, but I won't go into that. It's pretty problematic by today's standards, and fortunately, I never got to experience it. But,
no, good.
But I will tell you this: one of the last times they took me to the drive-in, my mom had to go to the snack bar and complain about something, and she took me with her. And the first time I ever saw Charlie Chaplin, it was one of those cardboard stand-up posters, and it was a cookie ad. And I was like, "Hey, mommy, I want the cookie like that man has." And she's like, "You don't get a cookie right now. I'm angry." Yeah, it was the first time I ever saw Chaplin, and then, TNT was launched a year or two later, and I started watching his movies.
Oh, yeah, I love that, all the classic movie channels and some of the silent films. We used to go to a place in Sylmar that they have organ concerts, like theater organ concerts, and some nights they would have a silent movie with it, and it was really cool. It's called the Nethercut Collection. It's it's like one of those hidden things, like one of those Huell Hauser kind of places that you can go to in LA.
Mm-hmm.
And they have like all these amazing cars, like just beautiful, cherried out 1910, 20s, types of cars, big limousines, things like that.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
There used to be a lot more theaters in LA, New York, and San Francisco. And with, technology advancing, there's not enough of them. They're all gone now. It's so sad. Yeah,
they almost closed the Cinerama Dome. I was like, that was awful. I think somebody saved it, though.
We have a classic movie theater in the Bay Area in Palo Alto, Stanford Movie Theater. It's been around forever. I am so surprised it's still open. And they show the same 4 movies from whatever movie star festival that they have there each month. It's so weird. Like if they show Jimmy Stewart Film Festival, they show The Philadelphia Story, It's a Wonderful Life, I think Harvey, and some Western, and that's about it. And with Cary Grant, same thing, Philadelphia Story, Bringing Up Baby, Only Angels Have Wings, and I think Mr. Blendings Built His Dream House. And I'm just so surprised that they're still open because they keep showing the same movies over and over again.
Yeah, we have a few theaters like that here in LA, too. I just went to, a friend of mine's a PR guy on the for the Fine Arts Theater in Beverly Hills, and right now all they're doing, it's a real beautiful deco, kind of a small deco theater, and we saw a screening of Giant there.
Oh,
recently. And they do all kinds of screenings, but they don't do it's not like, it doesn't operate as a normal theater. It's more for special events and screenings and stuff like that.
Yeah. Now, Giant, that was James Dean's last movie before his crash.
Yeah. It was a good movie, too.
Yeah.
I've seen it before, but it was it's really good.
And I think it made Rock Hudson a star.
Yeah.
Now, going into animation, because you've worked in animation, like when you grew up, the cartoons were in prime time by that point, right?
Saturday mornings, I think. Mostly Saturday mornings was we just sit in front of the TV and watch TV, all morning long, pretty much. I don't remember it so much during the week. I think it was mostly just Saturdays.
Well, the Flintstones and the Jetsons were prime time, but everything else, everything that had been in movie theaters back in the 30s, 40s, 50s was being shown on Saturday morning cartoons. They stopped playing them in the theaters by 1960, I think.
Yeah. Well, when we used to go to the movies, they'd always have a cartoon first. Yeah, there was some great cartoons during that time. I mean, all that, Hanna-Barbera was great. Mm-hmm. I liked Huckleberry Hound, I guess. That's the one I liked. And the Flintstones. I used to watch the Flintstones a lot. The Jetsons.
Oh, yeah.
I still wish that I could get into a tube sometimes and be sent to, some place in LA without having to drive.
Yeah, well, it's funny. They predicted the future with Zoom pretty much on the Jetsons.
Definitely, yeah. They did. There's a lot of things that they had, I think that are starting to come into fruition. Yeah.
So there was all the Hanna-Barbera stuff, and I love the old Tex Avery stuff. After he had left Looney Tunes, he struck out on his own at MGM, and of course there was Tom and Jerry, which which relied on slapstick visual and no talking, but then there was the classic cartoons Tex Avery made, the Wolf and the burlesque singer,
Yeah, and then Bugs Bunny and all the things that Mel Blanc was in, everything, and there was some local things too, like Felix the Cat I watched a lot also.
I watched Mighty Mouse.
Yeah, Mighty Mouse.
And there was Popeye and the Superman cartoon. Those are in the public domain.
Oh, yeah, Popeye for sure. Yeah, we watched Popeye a lot. Trying to think of what else.
Yeah, we watched those. Woody Woodpecker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are all good. They're really good.
Yeah.
They hold up.
Yeah, I mean, I had all those cheap bargain bin compilation tapes with all those public domain cartoons, and that was something that my parents would get me for just under $5 when I was a kid.
Mighty Mouse, that was another one.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, cartoons, and then by the '70s, right? They started getting adult cartoons like Ralph Bakshi, Fritz the Cat. My dad actually snuck into that movie with his best friend, who was the first drummer in the Dead Kennedys.
Oh yeah, no, I remember going to the theater to watch that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
yeah, what was your reaction? I mean, being a girl at that time, being so young, seeing that.
Well, it was the 70s, We kind of like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I knew what to expect, so I wasn't shocked or anything. But yeah, it was kind of bizarre to see stuff like that in a cartoon. And of course, now in the anime and stuff, you see all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, my dad and his friend were 14, right? So they were way too young to get in. They also saw Dirty Harry the same day.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, I was like a little, like, I don't know what, I graduated in high school in 71, so yeah, I was a little older.
My mom graduated a year early in '71 as well, but they let her stay with her natural class, the next year, so she can go to the prom and everything with everybody. So she got to go full years, even though she technically graduated in '71 because she had really good grades.
Yeah, I actually had skipped a half a grade because when I was first started school in LA, they had a kind of an A and a B thing where you'd start in June start in September and then February
Yeah,
because my birthday's in December. So I actually hung out with a lot of people from the class of 72 more,
yeah.
mainly because we were all in the drama department together. So we
My
were always doing plays.
my mom really wanted me to do well in school so I can graduate a year early in 2000 because that would mean, the start of the millennium, But I had a lot more friends in 2000 and 2002 than I had in my own class. I would have been happy to, but it didn't happen. I graduated '01 like I was supposed to.
Yeah. Well, sometimes that's the best.
Yeah.
You don't want to, push yourself too much, really. But
Yeah. Do you remember the first record album you ever bought with your own money?
um, let's see. I kind of like was into Gary Lewis and the Playboys. It's so
Oh,
strange,
love it.
like yeah. I bet besides the Monkeys, that I think that was pre-Monkeys.
Hmm.
That was that was probably the first one that I ever got. I think
Oh.
that's kind of hokey, but now when I think about it, but yeah, that was it.
Yeah, I was 8 in 1991. My grandmother gave me some birthday money. I got Phil Collins' "No Jacket Required" and Poison's "Look What the Cat Dragged In" because I loved watching the videos on MTV.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but when I was a kid, my parents had a huge box of vinyl records that they had collected since the '70s, and it was mostly my dad's stuff. He had the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, Johnny Cash live at Folsom Prison,
Oh yeah.
Rod Stewart albums, AC/DC. I'm glad that vinyl is making a comeback because there's nothing like that stinky, musky smell of vinyl. It's intoxicating.
Yeah, my husband had a lot of records too, and he was from Detroit, so he had a lot of Motown stuff,
Oh
like
yeah,
Temptations, that kind of thing.
that's what my mom loves is Motown.
Mhm. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, I love Gary Lewis and the Playboys. I think they're so underrated, and I think they kind of get short shrift mainly because Gary is Jerry Lewis's son. But
Yeah.
I
And
think
then
that
they were estranged apparently. When he died, I think he was estranged from some of his kids.
he was estranged from all of them except for his adopted daughter that he had the last 25 years he was alive. But
Right.
yeah, it was pretty bad. But Gary's like the only one who never badmouths him publicly. Apparently,
Oh, okay.
because despite all the estrangedness, he just doesn't want to deal with any of the residuals from that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How about the first comedy record?
First comedy record?
Yeah.
Let's see. There's the Carl Reiner, Mel Brooks.
Oh,
they.
the 2,000-year-old man.
Yeah. Oh my God, that was amazing. And then my parents also were or my dad especially was into the Dodgers.
Uh-huh.
So there was like this whole Dodger record. It was pretty funny of like, singing like Vin Scully and all the like bunch of Dodgers were singing on it. It was really crazy.
I don't.
There was also this really old record that my dad had called Uncle Jazzbo. Mm-hmm. That was kind of like really, really early. And this guy, he told fairy tales, but he told it in this really hip kind of beatnik type of way. And I remember I just absolutely loved that record.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah, like the Big Bad Wolf and, that kind of stuff.
I gotta look that up. I don't know those ones.
Oh, it's great. It's great. And then, we used to have this radio station during the 60s and 70s called Dr. Demento.
Oh, I love Dr. Demento.
Yeah, and so he came up with some amazing stuff.
He was a bucket list guest I've been trying to get since I started. I hope this year will be the year. I mean, that guy is a legend. I would love to talk with him, Is he still around? He must be like 90 years old by now. He still does the show, but he does it on the internet now.
Oh, he does? I didn't even know that. Wow.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it's old hat, of course, but he still does it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, he must be really old.
He's probably about 80 something at least.
Oh, is that it? Oh, okay. I thought maybe he was older than that.
Yeah. The first comedy record I ever heard was Lily Tomlin's "This Is a Recording," which my mom had.
Yeah, I saw her perform a couple times in person, and I love her.
Yeah.
I've also seen her a few times in person, but she's wonderful.
Love her. Yeah, very talented lady. And
I actually got to go on I think it was like in the early 70s, when I think it was like the first year of college or something. We got to go to see a filming of Laugh-In, mm-hmm. which was really nice.
Yeah, tell me about that.
Oh, it was super fun. I mean, we went in a bus and went to the studio and just watched the whole filming, and they just had all the main people in it because it was like really big at that time. And I can't remember anything specific from it, like as far as jokes or anything, but I mean, we were laughing our heads off.
Yeah. Oh, there's a comedy historian named Cliff Nesteroff, and he has said, people think of Laugh-In as a real counterculture kind of show. He says it was actually very right wing because Ronan Martin were very right wing. That's why they put Nixon on there during his election year, and that's how he got elected.
Really? I wouldn't have thought that. That's funny.
Yeah, well, the way I frame it, yeah, I mean, back then, that was a time when the old Hollywood system and the new Hollywood system had to work together because they had no choice. There was no platforms for it, though. I think on that show they got to coexist.
Huh. Wow, I didn't even think about that. Because everybody that I knew was, were left wing at the time.
Yeah. Same here. It was just like, I was like, wow, I had never thought of that. But it makes sense, though. But, yeah, I mean, it got to coexist back in those days,
Yeah, Ruth Buzzy's still on Twitter, and she's, I guess she recently had a stroke, but she still comes back and with some, really funny jokes.
She's very funny, and I was very ballsy at the beginning of starting this podcast. I asked her to come on, and she gracefully declined, but she thanked me for being such a devoted fan.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I've run into Joanne Worley before too. She was a member of the TV Academy. We used to go to TV Academy screenings a lot, and she'd show up every once in a while, and she was still as wacky as ever.
Oh yeah, she's wonderfully body, and I heard her. She was on. There was a podcast dedicated to Johnny Carson. This guy Mark Malkoff was the host. I had him on just before he ended it, and he had Joanne Worley on. And Johnny Carson was married to 3 women named Joanne, right? So
yeah.
At the end of the interview, he likes to ask the guest, who was Johnny Carson? What did he mean to you, right? Well, she gave him the answer, and then the final line was, and he loved women named Joanne. I love that.
Yeah, I loved his show. He had a great show.
The best. He was the best late night talk show host there ever was. But behind the scenes, he ran it like almost like a mafia. He ran it like the way he came up in the nightclubs, pretty much, and it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way.
Oh yeah. I've seen some shows like about comedians and stuff that kind of mentioned that.
Yeah, it's crazy, huh? Do you remember the first concert you ever went to?
Oh yeah, the first concert I ever went to was Jethro Tull Aqualung, and it was at the Inglewood Forum, and yeah, it was pretty cool.
Oh, I love it. I love Jethro Tull. They're just so great. I love them. I had 2 first concerts because one was a county fair concert and one was a real concert. The real concert was Alice Cooper, and he is such a showman. Oh my God! And my county fair concert, Steppenwolf.
Oh yeah. I went to see the Stones a couple times, and David Bowie, and then for a while in the 80s, me and my girlfriend sometimes would go to Chinatown to Madame Wong's, and then, they kind of had more of the new wave, rockabilly, all kinds of cool stuff there.
Yeah.
Like the motels and, stuff like that.
Motels, they're from my hometown.
Oh, yeah?
they're from the Bay Area, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Where in the Bay Area are you?
Currently, I'm living in Modesto.
Oh, okay.
But I'm born and raised in San Mateo, and I was there until 2017, and I know the place very, very well.
Oh yeah, I bet. Yeah, my brother lives in Napa, so we go up there every once in a while.
You go to the winery?
Oh yeah, definitely. And then my son just got married in Santa Cruz in the Redwoods.
Nice.
Up there. Yeah, it was really nice.
I spent a lot of time up in Santa Cruz my whole life going to the free concerts over there. I saw Y&T and the Tubes and Blue Oyster Cult over there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
They're great, yeah. It makes me think, though, these guys are so great. Why are they doing a free concert like this? I mean, they should be playing at the Shoreline Amphitheater,
I know. Yeah, it's kind of funny because, sometimes you'll see all these old geezers in the weirdest places performing, like you said, like in a county fair or at, just some weird little venue. And you're going like, this guy used to be huge.
Yeah.
But that's what happens. That's what happens.
Oh. How about books?
I am like not a great reader anymore. I don't know why. I used to be a good reader, and now it's like I'm always watching. I love, like, we have every streaming channel, so now I watch everything on streaming, but I really like a lot of historical things and biographical things, and then I'll go look up everything online about it. And I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just because it's harder to see, or I just don't have a good place to sit and read a book. But I used to like stuff like D.H. Lawrence, or N.E.S. Nin, or I don't know, just oddball stuff.
My elementary school had every Dr. Seuss book when I was a kid, and I read all of them. I loved Dr. Seuss books when I was a kid. I loved Charlotte's Web. I had it in paperback. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
oh, this is a naughty story, but it's funny. When I was 14, I went in my mom's dresser and found a copy of Everything You Always Wanted to Know About Sex But Were Afraid to Ask. And
Yeah.
I haven't read the book since, but I remember it so well that in hindsight, with everything I've learned about the Victorian era, it's written like it's a Victorian era book, even though it came out in '69, because
Mhm.
he's just saying all these wives' tales about how boys start masturbating and developing hormones and all this Freudian type of shit. That I was just like, this book does not age well.
Yeah.
Doesn't hold up.
That's funny.
And of course, I love the old Hollywood biographies about movie
Mhm.
stars I love, like Natalie Wood and Gregory Peck and Marilyn Monroe. I've read books about them and stuff.
Yeah, I like stuff like that too. Yeah,
Yeah,
I do. I wish I was better at it, but now it's like I'll either turn on the TV or YouTube.
yeah,
I like to learn stuff, like I like more nonfiction stuff more than fiction anymore because I just like to learn how to do stuff, and I think that's why I figured out how to set up websites and things like that because I just kind of had this weird technical like a gene that I had no clue I had before, because I was always doing more creative artistic stuff and not so much on that other side of the brain.
yeah. Oh my God! One time, my friend got a door-to-door Bible salesman back in Boston, where he's from, and he told the guy that he already has a Bible. He checked it out at his local library, and he's like, "Really, your library has a Bible?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Yeah, it's in the fiction section." That guy stormed out of there offended so fast.
Oh my god, that's funny.
Yeah.
My dad actually sold Bibles for a while. He sold everything under the sun.
Uh-huh.
And he got ordained as a universal. I mean, he's Jewish, but like
Uh-huh.
he was ordained as a minister. And I just recently got ordained too because my daughter's getting married and she wanted me to sign her marriage certificate. So I guess now I could go out and do weddings, although I don't think I will.
Is she marrying a Catholic?
Well, I married a Catholic,
Mhm.
so they were, they were so confused. They don't know what they are. So she's done some like transcendental meditation, things like that. But other than that, I don't think they really know what they are. But her fiance is, I guess, some kind of Christian religion. But I have a feeling it's not going to be like, not going to really matter that much.
I'm Catholic. The Jewish people love me, so I identify as Meshuggah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my husband was Polish Catholic.
Hmm.
Yeah, so he came from like Detroit, where there was a Polish enclave,
Yeah.
and that's why I have that name Olkowski. That's where I got that from.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
So this year is the 40th anniversary of Mugsy's Girls. Can you believe it?
Yeah, and it's really funny because I got contacted recently by the Laura Branigan fan club,
Yeah.
and they had me just because of, I guess it was like a anniversary of when she passed away or something like that, and so they wanted me to write some quotes, and yeah, that was really cool. They featured me in that.
Yeah, her personal assistant's on Twitter, keeping her legacy alive. I'm going to reach out to her this year
Yeah.
and get her on here because I've been seeing her do podcasts, and that would be great. I just think she's so underrated as a singer and as an actress that I can't believe there hasn't been a documentary or a book about her.
Well, you hear her songs in a lot of stuff,
Hmm.
even now. Like Gloria and stuff. I mean, you hear that all the time. in commercials.
All popular music is being licensed everywhere now because the artists can't make money just by going on the road. Some of them can't perform anymore, so they license their music now.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. That's been so long ago.
Yeah, and I found Kevin Brody on Facebook. I'm going to reach out to him too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing now. I haven't heard much from him. I know he directed a few other things, but I'm not really sure what he's doing right now.
Yeah.
I think his daughter's an actress.
Probably. Yeah.
Karen.
Yeah.
Fallon. Something like that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, when I watch that movie, I just think of this. How did this ever get made?
I know. But we had fun.
I know. It looks like you all had fun, And
yeah. I mean, working with Ruth Gordon was so exciting.
Yeah. I mean, coming off of an Oscar nomination with Harold and Maude, she was just so fantastic.
Oh, she was amazing, yeah. I mean, she was like 89 or something when she did that, and it's so funny because, like, when she wasn't working, she'd be, sitting there like an old lady and stuff, but as soon as the camera went on, she was just like, she could have been 40 years old.
Yeah.
And then she'd go back to sitting again.
She did a movie a year later with Glenn Close called Mugsy, and she is so fantastic in that movie. I think it was her last movie, actually.
It was. I was surprised she did another movie after ours, but that was pretty cool. I did hear about that.
Yeah. I mean, God, she goes back to the silent era.
I know. Yeah, she's just funny. Really funny.
Now, speaking of your late husband, I didn't realize he worked on so many of my favorite movies from the 80s.
Really?
Oh, yeah. The Osterman Weekend, which was Sam Peckinpah's last movie. The Philadelphia Experiment with Michael Paré and Nancy Allen. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I interviewed the writer from that movie a couple years ago. Appointment with Fear, Jake Speed. I watched that the other night.
Oh, wow.
Monster in the...
Yeah, I got to meet Sam Peckinpah on the set. That was really cool.
Yeah, what was he like? Because I heard he was nuts.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much what he was. But I mean, he seemed okay when I was working. When I went to the set. I mean, I only met him I only went on this set I think one day, so I didn't really get to know him very well.
Yeah, he also did Monster in the Closet, He's My Girl, a lot of good movies I love.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I was with two camera operator. Well, I guess on those films he was a gaffer. Roger was a gaffer on some of those, but after he died, then I was with another camera operator, DP, and he died. So I'm done with guys, especially camera operators.
What is it about the cameramen you love?
I guess it was just like sitting on the camera was like, to me, looked kind of sexy. I don't know.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
It seems like he gravitated toward horror and sci-fi a lot based on the movies he worked on.
Well, Roger did a lot of like non-union, like independent stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas Doug did a lot of union stuff. So he worked on stuff like Beetlejuice and Christmas Vacation and Coming to America, stuff like that.
Love them all. I love them all.
Yeah. And Star Trek.
And Roger even did the Meat Eater for David Burton Morris. Oh my God, I've thought about reaching out to him for an interview. Yeah, he did this great.
Oh, wow.
He did this great hippie movie called Purple Haze in the early '80s. It's become kind of a cult classic.
Yeah. He did this other thing called The Rise and Fall of Western Civilization with Penelope Spheeris.
Penelope Spheeris, yeah. I love that movie. Whenever I have someone
that was fun.
whenever I have someone from punk rock on in the late 70s, early 80s from LA, I always got to ask them either about it or why weren't they in it, because it's such a legendary movie.
Yeah, I remember going to the rap party for that, and there was just all kinds of people walking around like Flea and, just a bunch of rockers.
Flea must have been, God, 17 at the time because he was a kid.
Oh, I don't know how old he was. Yeah, I mean, a lot of them were.
Yeah. Oh, God, he was the best boy on Racket. Oh, that poor thing.
Yeah, I have the lady who lives next door to me worked on that also. Like, there was a lot of people that worked on that.
Oh my God! Yeah, I've talked to I think one person from that movie, and then one person's relative, Edie Adams' son. We talked about it like about a month ago. She was in Racket.
Oh my God!
Yeah. So, do you have any upcoming projects?
It's weird. I think with the COVID and everything going on, all of a sudden this new wave of just thousands of voice actors all of a sudden came in. I mean, there used to be like 30 of us that did all the anime stuff, and now there's thousands. And so I've been I've done a couple of conventions. I did LA Comic Con just recently and Robo Toy Fest last year, and I'm hoping to do more conventions. But actually, I've been doing a lot of social media influencer stuff. Like I became an Amazon influencer, so I make videos that go on Amazon, and which is really fun for me because it's like, so you watch some of the videos that people make and they're really horrible. I mean, people are just slow and just really hard to listen to. But I can kind of like put myself on video, and it's like practice for me to be on camera because I hadn't been on camera for a long time. So yeah, I have fun with it, and I'm making money doing it, which is cool.
That's awesome. Because I don't think the strike affected the voiceover people that much. It seems.
No, but it's just that because people were working from home, they could set up a studio in their closet, and they could work from anywhere. So then all of a sudden you're getting people from, it used to be just LA and New York and some from Texas, but now it's like they're coming from everywhere. And then they're working for peanuts, and they're not making, they're taking really low rates and stuff. So I don't know. I just, I think that they're not sure what to do with me because I still have this really young voice, but, they're thinking, well, she's this age and, we have to make her be adults, and it doesn't work like that because my voice doesn't work like that. It's like my voice still sounds like I'm under 20 years old. So, it's kind of an odd little place to be in right now. But I keep busy with a lot of different things, and I'm kind of more of an entrepreneur now, which is fun.
That is so great. Yeah. I mean, I remember, you putting it on Twitter that, you were looking for someone to connect with to help you get booked at the conventions and stuff. And
I did get somebody. Finally.
Nice.
Yeah, and it took them like 2 years to put my picture on their website, but yeah, they're really nice, and so I'm excited about that. I hope I get some this year.
Yeah,
so I like to travel. My whole thing is, please send me somewhere, so I can go check it out and stuff. And in addition to doing the convention.
I know. I'd like to see you at one here in the Bay Area. I'll come and see you.
Yeah, I did some in San Francisco a really long time ago, and I always like to go up there. I'd also like to go to Boston because I have a brother who lives in Rhode Island, or Rhode Island, and on the East Coast and stuff. And then I have friends that, like, I had a couple friends that just did a convention in Okinawa, and some do them in Australia and London and stuff. And I would love to do that.
I saw footage of you on YouTube at you were doing a con panel by yourself in 1986, and oh my God, You were up there alone with the microphone. You were like a stand-up comedian. You just worked the
I
crowd.
was.
Yeah. Oh God, you were hilarious, and you were.
I was. Oh my God.
I saw you post a picture recently where you're laying sexy on a couch, and you had these very pretty, unique painted toenails. What color was that? It was like a
I mean, I think
reddish.
in Mexico, I think.
Yeah, you had this like reddish magenta with sparkles.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. I usually it actually didn't have like bright colors. I had kind of a mauve type of color or something. I don't know. Maybe it came out like that in the photo, but it wasn't really that. I don't know what it was. It was kind of like a neutral type of color, actually.
I thought they were.
I only have one bottle of nail polish, so I don't know.
I thought they were really pretty. I have, of course.
Yeah, it's a great color. Actually, it's a great color.
I have gold with sparkles for New Year's that I did myself. And
oh yeah.
Yeah. How old were you when you started painting your nails?
I don't know. I don't even paint my nails very often anymore. Just occasionally. I don't think I was, probably a teenager, I guess.
I was 13 when I started. My parents were worried at first, but now they're accepting of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I used to get them done professionally, but now inflation's gone up, so I don't get them done professionally anymore.
Yeah, I do my own too.
Yeah.
Mainly because I don't know. I don't get excited about sitting in a salon and having just sitting there waiting for my nails to dry. And it's the same thing with my hair. I mean, I have to go in and get my hair done because otherwise it would be like completely white. But it's torture for me, and I can't do it by myself because I would just completely trash the bathroom if I tried to do that.
Yeah, you do plenty of waiting as an actor.
Yeah, but it's every time, like, I'll usually wait 3 months. Like, right now, it's really, it needs to be done, but I'm waiting because my daughter's getting married at the end of the month, so I wanted to at least wait until January, so probably in the next week or two, I'm going to get my hair done.
Oh, that is so wonderful that she's getting married at the end of the month.
Yeah, I mean, I had 2 kids within 3 months of each other getting married. That was pretty crazy.
Oh, yeah, that means you're blessed.
Yeah, and it's going to be in Mexico too, so I'm going to have fun.
Yeah, this year I'm definitely going to travel, go out to LA and hopefully other places. It's just I've been locked in for 4 years,
No, we all have.
Just like a lot of people.
Actually, I did go traveling a few times during the pandemic. Though I went to Mexico City and San Miguel de Allende and a couple other places.
I have a joke for you.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Why did the blonde have a bruised belly button?
Why did the blog have a bruise? Why?
Because her boyfriend is blonde.
Oh. Okay. I thought you said a blog. I was what? A blonde.
A blonde, yeah.
Okay.
Rebecca, I love you. Thank you so much for coming back on and nerding out with me today. And I hope you have a happy daughter wedding in Mexico. And
thank you.
Once again, I hope to meet you at a con this year or in the future. And I hope you have a happy new year and just be safe out there.
You too. Thank you so much for having me again.
You too. Absolutely. Okay.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye. Well, there you have it. Rebecca Forstadt Olkowski. Isn't she a sweetheart? Oh my God, I just love her laugh. I love her voice. I just love the way she talks. And I'm so glad that we got to talk again today. And I'm so glad that her daughter's getting married in Mexico at the end of the month. That is really, really special. So thank you, Rebecca, for being my first guest of 2024. Well, until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying There's no shame in living in the past because the present sucks. Later, dudes!